Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding General, Brigadier General Milford H. Beagle, and the Command Post Sergeant Major Gann, welcome to the United States Army Training Center in Fort Jackson for the graduating companies Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo from the 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment, 193rd Infantry Brigade. Please stand for the invocation given by the battalion's chaplain, Chaplain Gerald Ibwanosi.
Bow your heads and join me in praying in your tradition. Heavenly Father, thank you for this time to honor those who have done so well over the past several weeks. Thank you for the accomplishments and their commitments. Thank you, Lord, for their families and friends back home who support them so well in this worthy and honorable profession. Although they could not be here physically due to the global pandemic, they are here with them spiritually, praying and cheering for them. Thank you for our great sergeants and all our cadre who have trained them to be the best soldiers that they can be. God, we ask you to go with these soldiers to their AIT and their first assignments as warriors, that they will go with pride and confidence, ready to learn their jobs and face what lies before them, depending on you for their strength and comfort. Help them, O God, to turn to you as they need the strength to go on and the courage to face another day. We also ask you, God, to be with us today as we celebrate their graduation and entry into the ranks of those who served honorably. Bless our country in this time of global pandemic. Bless our healthcare workers and first responders. Help our country to find a cure to COVID-19 so that families can be reunited together without fear of illness. Finally, God, please be a blessing to all who rejoice in their accomplishments, and may everything they do bring glory and honor to you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of the men and women you see standing in the formation before you today, who have chosen to serve their country as soldiers. This review is the last official formation of the training cycle. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training, but those in the formation today represent disciplined, motivated, physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. To the parents, families, and friends of these soldiers, Fort Jackson extends a warm and sincere welcome. Please direct your attention to the left of the formation. The units marching today from your left to right are the 282nd Army Band under the command of Chief Warrant Officer George T. Bauer, graduating soldiers from companies Alpha and Bravo, the Battalion Color Guard, and graduating soldiers from companies Charlie, Delta, and Echo. Identified by their distinctive headgear are the drill sergeants. These dedicated non-commissioned officers form the backbone of the Army's training center system. Selected on the basis of professional competence, leadership ability, and years of service, these men and women undergo intensive training to earn the right to wear their distinctive hat and insignia. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Major Paul Stelzer, the executive officer for the 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment. He and the battalion's staff are positioned on the field. The reviewing officer for today's graduation is the commander of the 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Randall D. Wenner. On his left is Command Sergeant Major Anthony R. Ulmer, the senior non-commissioned officer, master trainer, and principal advisor to the commander.
Down, present arms! Sir, the River Raiders are formed. Go hard! Down, order arms!
The commander of troops will now bring forward the colors and persons to be honored.
Colors and persons to be honored. Secretary, march!
Competence and commitment are the hallmarks of professionalism. These soldiers and drill sergeants coming forward will be recognized for their excellence in training and duty and serve as examples to all.
Sir, the colors and persons to be honored. On first. Is that the command?
It is appropriate for soldiers not in uniform and all armed forces veterans to salute the American flag. We ask our civilian guests to please remove your headgear and place your right hand over your heart as the national anthem is played.
Down, present arms! Detachment, present arms!
Please be seated.
Down, order arms, and parade rest! Awardees, halt! Face. Forward, march, left, left, right flank, march, left, 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 right flank, march, left, left, march time, march, left, left, group, halt, left, face.
Lieutenant Colonel Winter and Command Sergeant Major Omer will now present the awards. The outstanding drill sergeant of the cycle for the battalion is Staff Sergeant Joel Ferris from Albuquerque, New Mexico. The soldier leader of the cycle for Company Bravo is Specialist Artem Ozoronsky from Fairfax, Virginia. The soldier of the cycle for Bravo Company is Private Caitlin Sheline from Lancaster, Ohio. The outstanding drill sergeant of the cycle for Alpha Company is Staff Sergeant Jeremy Nason from Savannah, Georgia. The soldier leader of the cycle for Alpha Company is Private Yahira Paella from Miami, Florida. The soldier of the cycle for Alpha Company is Private Christopher Kingham from Winter Haven, Florida. The outstanding drill sergeant of the cycle for Charlie Company is Staff Sergeant Joshua Scheimer from Warrenton, Missouri. The soldier leader of the cycle for Charlie Company is Private Anika Smiley from Idaho Falls, Idaho. And the soldier of the cycle for Charlie Company is Specialist Matthew Udall from Phoenix, Arizona. The outstanding drill sergeant of the cycle for Delta Company is Staff Sergeant Miriam Dominguez from Parlier, California. The soldier leader of the cycle for Delta Company is Specialist Ryan Lee from Temple City, California. The soldier of the cycle for Delta Company is Specialist Asias Chapman from Harris County, Georgia. The outstanding drill sergeant of the cycle for Echo Company is Staff Sergeant Frank Bravo from Newport News, Virginia. The soldier leader of the cycle for Echo Company is Specialist Christian Burrows from Lexington, Kentucky. And the soldier of the cycle for Echo Company is Cameron Schultz from Austin, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Randall D. Wenner.
Good morning, Brigadier General and Mrs. Beagle, Command Sergeant Major Gann, Colonel White, Command Sergeant Major Butler, distinguished guests, and most importantly, families and friends of the River Raiders joining us via Facebook Live. Thank you for watching as we honor the accomplishments of Basic Combat Training Class 2002. Fort Jackson was established in 1917 and is named after Andrew Jackson, our 7th president. We are the Army's premier training center and are the largest producer of soldiers for your Army annually. Our mission is critical. We produce soldiers to win our nation's wars. In other words, victory truly does start here. The 910 soldiers assembled on Hilton Field today joined the United States Army for a variety of reasons. Some wanted to be challenged. For others, it was a calling or a patriotic sense of duty, or they were simply looking to make a positive change in their lives, to become a role model. For several of these soldiers, they joined a legacy, a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, or some other family member or friend that has served before them. All of these are great reasons, and when they arrived here at Fort Jackson in late February, many of them quickly realized that this might be the greatest challenge of their lives. Out of the 958 civilians that started, the 910 soldiers standing on the field met that challenge. They now join the ranks of military members past and present. In fact, some of those teammates are joining us online today, and I would like to take this opportunity to recognize them. If you're a veteran or currently serving, the River Raiders salute you. This battalion is part of a regiment which holds one of the most illustrious battle records in the United States Army. During 3 bloody wars on 3 different continents, the River Raiders played a conspicuous part in the achievements of the 60th Infantry Regiment and 9th Infantry Division. More specifically, the battalion deployed to the Republic of Vietnam in December of 1966 and began riverine training with the Advanced River Assault Flotilla 1 elements that were aboard the USS Whitfield in Westchester County as one of the first truly joint force elements sent to Dong Tam, Vietnam. Our motto, River Raiders, comes from the mobile riverine force operations conducted in Vietnam, where some of the heaviest fighting of the war took place. Not unlike their predecessors, the soldiers standing in front of you today have begun their journey of service to our nation. Now, I would like to describe to you all listening online the adventure that all the warriors in front of you have taken over their last 10 weeks. Fittingly, they arrived here in South Carolina just after President's Day weekend, and as their buses pulled up, these soldiers were warmly welcomed by their drill sergeants. These drill sergeants, highly trained, professional, non-commissioned officers, immediately introduced these former civilians to basic Army concepts like leader-assisted motivation, moving with a purpose, military authority, attention to detail, and teamwork. Their first night was likely a bit of a culture shock. The soldiers in front of you learned that 60 people with only 14 shower stalls can easily shower in 30 minutes and still have an additional 29 minutes to clean the latrine, organize their wall lockers, and make their bays shine. After a long, fulfilling couple of uninterrupted hours of sleep, these former civilians were calmly awoken the next morning by their drill sergeants. And by 5:30 a.m., they were breathing in the fresh morning air and conducting physical readiness training on our state-of-the-art battalion PT field. And many were probably thinking, I can't wait to sleep in. Well, soon they realized that Saturday looks a lot like every other day of the week here, while we do give them an additional 30 minutes on Sunday. The drill sergeants began the transformation process. To change nearly 958 civilians into soldiers requires inculcating discipline, attention to detail, physical fitness, and the embodiment of the Army values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Their first week was about discipline and fitness, becoming a soldier. They conducted countless bay and equipment inspections. They learned how to march, challenged themselves to improve their aerobic strength and endurance capabilities. Shortly thereafter, they gained trust in their military equipment by wearing their chemical protective masks in our gas chamber. There were certainly wide-eyed expressions on their faces when told by their drill sergeants that to gain confidence in their equipment, they must remove their mask, clear, and then reseal the mask. Soldiers spent the next few weeks learning how to accurately fire their weapon at varying distances, gaining confidence in their training, their leaders, and themselves. They learned first aid, hand-to-hand fighting techniques, and our own unique military language. Then we tested them over and over to make sure they were ready. On their own, with no outside help and only their military equipment, each of them was forced to complete a series of challenging yet critical Army tasks. We tested their mettle and adaptability. As the country began to see the effects of COVID-19, the River Raiders became proactive and vigilant. They immediately changed their day-to-day routines to limit the spread of the virus, while never losing sight of the goal. We continue to train because our nation needs us now more than ever. Proving they had what it takes, these soldiers earned the right to participate in basic combat training's culminating fielding training exercise, the Forge. And on a beautiful South Carolina Tuesday morning around 3 a.m., they began one of the most difficult things they have ever accomplished. They were tested for over 81 hours and over more than 45 miles in austere conditions with little sleep and during the hours of darkness, forcing them to rely on their training, their teammate, and their equipment. Exhausted, dirty, hungry, each one of these soldiers in front of you today completed a 10-mile movement on foot with a heavy pack, experienced the battlefield sights and sounds on our night infiltration course, conducted medical evacuation tasks, were required to make difficult choices when presented with ethical dilemmas, carried heavy equipment for miles, traversed multiple obstacle courses, and then live fired their weapon one final time, and then proudly marched right here on Hilton Field, completing their training and earning the title of American Soldier. Now, I could go on, but I'll close by sharing a relevant quote by General George S. Patton, who stated, "The soldier is the Army. No army is better than its soldiers. The soldier is also a citizen. In fact, the highest obligation and privilege of citizenship is that of bearing arms for one's country. You are the 1%. Your obligation and privilege of service has just begun, and you should be proud of your accomplishments and the journey ahead. I know I speak for all the drill sergeants, cadre, and leaders in saying, River Raiders, great job. You definitely rode hard. You met the standard. Hold your heads high and carry this momentum forward into your careers. Our country needs you trained and ready. Trust your leaders, stay fit, resilient, and always proficient in your warrior tasks and battle drills. Maintain the standards, and remember, as the 40th Chief of Staff of the Army, General McConville states, winning matters, and people are our #1 priority. Don't ever lose sight of that. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us online and around the world, I present to you the Army's newest soldiers, the 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment, River Raiders.
Today's soldier is above all a warrior, adaptive, confident, and competent. As a soldier, you are totally committed to the warrior ethos, grounded in Army values, and are determined to destroy enemies of the United States of America. The United States Army Soldier's Creed embodies this commitment. The uniform you wear at this moment is more than an outward display of your vocational choice. Your uniform is a symbol of a nation and an unspoken assurance to all who see that you are a willing and able protector of the freedoms fought so arduously for all who have gone before and those who will bravely come after. You have become what you set out to be, a soldier in the United States Army. The Soldier's Creed is your declaration of your unshakable commitment to the ideals this nation was founded upon and will continue to guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Specialist Artem Ozoronsky leads the soldiers standing before you through the reciting of the Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed! I'm an American soldier! I'm a warrior member of the team! I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values! I will always place the mission first! I will never accept defeat! I will never quit! I will never leave a fallen comrade! I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills. I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I am an expert and I am a professional. I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. I am the guardian of freedom and the American way of life. I am an American soldier.
Please be seated.
Pass for you. Pass for you.
It is appropriate for all soldiers not in uniform and all armed forces veterans to salute the American flag and remain standing until the flag is passed on your right.